What is up, everybody? How y'all living? How y'all feeling? Tasha checking in with another video. This is going to be none other than my review for, sorry, season 6, episode 5 of the Belle Collective, Biloxi Foods. Okay, if it's your first time joining me, go ahead and like this video up. Comment in the comment section and most importantly, subscribe to the Redefine Me channel. Okay, so if I had to rate this week's episode on a scale of 1 to 10, I would give this a 5. I mean, it was just okay. I'm gonna include photos along this review so we all can be on the same page and keep on track. But nothing really explosive happened. But let's get into this review, okay? Let me go ahead and add the first photo up on the screen, okay? Hold on, y'all. Let me put myself up there. Give me 1 second. All right, y'all. So this week's episode, we open up with Carrie, who is in the red. She is planning a broil, a crawfish broil. Now, Carrie, I'm gonna need you to do better, okay, ma'am? You met them in the park and laid out a white Party City picnic table with the plastic red cups. Put some crawfish on it and called it a broil. I don't see not one corn, one potato, nothing. The broils I'm used to seeing. Now, she didn't say seafood broil, so maybe this crawfish broil is just specifically for crawfish. I don't know. But Carrie is one of them chicks that she said, look, she ain't been bougie all her life and she like a good old crawfish. What had me messed up was when she poured out the loaf of bread and the mayonnaise. Okay, now I'm not a big crawfish eater. My daughter loves crawfish, but I am one that do not, so maybe that's the way it goes. I don't know. But at this crawfish boil, she goes and let the ladies know that she is planning a trip where she is going to take the ladies to the Gulf Coast. They're going to go to Biloxi and they are going to do a girls trip. One, the trip is supposed to be for them to unwind and relax from the drama that happened at Latrice's pool party, and then 2 is supposed to kick off Letitia's brunch, entrepreneur brunch tour, okay, from Mississippi. And so she goes and tells them that and everything. And she says that, Marie is asking who's all coming. She says she invited all of the ladies, and she says, so is Latrice coming to this crawfish broil that we're having right now? She says, no, she's not going to come to this crawfish broil. I just wanted the drama to cease. And Letitia is fine with that because she did not want to see Latrice anyway, because y'all already know Letitia is blaming Latrice for bamboozling her and setting her up at the pool party, exposing Glenn's mess. But this is what gave me messed up with Lateshia, and I'm trying to give her grace, but I just can't in this moment because, ma'am, your husband is the one that is out here funning and gunning, cheating, sliding in DMs, and doing all of these things. Even if that happened at one of the Belle's houses, that doesn't mean that he is not the reason that it's happening. And so I'm gonna need her to make him take ownership and stop blaming everybody else. So anyway, fast forward, we get over to Latrice and her husband's house, right? And he says he has a surprise for her, and he goes and takes her in their dining room, and he has food and dinner prepared. Looked like he ordered takeout from somewhere. Don't look like he cooked nothing, but he ordered some takeout, and she's like, "Oh, this is nice and everything." And they sit on down and have a conversation. She's asking him, "Has he heard from Glenn?" He's saying no. She's saying, "I'm about to go on this Gulf Coast trip with the ladies and everything," and she says, "I'm gonna need you where you want to be at while I'm gone." His face is giving me older F boy. You know what I'm saying? That's how he looks in this moment. He tells her that he gonna go ahead and stay up at the condos over Taste because she not gonna be at the house. Sir, you don't be at the house no way, even when she's there. And I don't understand why he has to stay at these condos over above Taste. It gives me the vibes that you're keeping something or you're cheating. So Latrice tells him, what if she went out to the club and popped it and busted wide open on some dude? And he says, well, you be cheating. And she was like, hey, Janae, what's up, girl? And she was just like, That's the same vibe I'm getting when you want to stay in condos. If my husband was staying over at some condos above our restaurant, in my mind, I would think you're hiding something. You have a big old beautiful house and you are choosing to stay over at Tate's. I don't get that. Clip is weird to me. I've always never thought that he really liked Latrice like that, or like he's just tolerating her. But sir, it's almost like, look at him. Do you think you can do any better? Latrice, in my opinion, gets annoying, but she is an attractive woman. And I just don't understand how he sits up here and just treats her like he just doesn't give a crap, or like he's a big papa or something, bringing in the coins, because he isn't. Latrice is her own woman in her own right and makes her own money. But anyway, he sucks, and I can see why him and Glendale are friends. We get over to Tambra. We finally see Tambra. Tambra has been missing. This is episode 6, and Tambra, no, episode 5, and Tambra has just popped up. She was on the very first episode, and all of a sudden she pops up. And when she popped up, this scene with her and Damon and their baby was just really lackluster. Okay, it really, I don't understand why it was even needed. What I will say is that Tambra looks good after she's had the baby. She got the girls sitting up and smushed together like a can of biscuits, okay, coming out the shirt. But I digress. She looks good and everything. We got Damon. Damon, after the baby took the hat off, I said, baby, put the hat back on. Damon looked a little weird in the face. Isn't he giving you like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle vibes? Like, that's how he looks right here. But hey, if Tamara like it, I love it. I don't know, child. So anyway, Tamara is having this conversation with Damon, and she's talking about, he is working down 2 or 3 jobs. Damon out here in the streets working, right? And that's probably why he's never on the show. But I think he doesn't really want to be on the show, because then that would mean that he would actually have to act like he's committing to Tambra. See, their relationship I do not like. He knocked her up. He proposed to her, so I think, and they have still been kicking it for all 5 seasons, because they haven't been together the whole time she's been on the show. 5 seasons, and he still hasn't made no serious commitment to her. They now have a child, a beautiful baby, and I think the baby is maybe like 2 at this point. She may be 2 at this point, and I still don't see no sign or life of commitment. He just walked in a house like he was visiting anyway, but I'm assuming he lives there. So he's asking her, like, what if you had to do without? And she's like, without what? I'm never going to have to do without. Excuse me. And I don't know if he's talking about maybe he's about to lose a job or 2 or whatever. I don't understand. But in my opinion, this wasn't really given. I don't know why they needed a scene. They could have came a little stronger than this, being as though we hadn't seen Tambra at all. So anyway, fast forward after this scene, all of the ladies are meeting up, about to get on the Sprinter van to go over to Biloxi for their Gulf Coast weekend. Okay, Look at Lateshia's face standing next to Latrice. Like, I don't really want to be standing right here. I don't want to be with her. I would rather ride by myself. But I don't know why Marie is thinking she's 20 with her belly out. I don't know what that's about. I'm going to need these older women to dress like their age. And I'm not saying you got to dress like you in a walker or something like that. But leave these belly outs and all this other stuff to the younger chicks, okay? Because I think Marie is like 45. Because they went down and listed their ages later, and I'm gonna tell y'all why. So anyway, Tambra and Selena is supposed to be escorting the ladies and getting them all together on the Sprinter van. Okay, they get on the Sprinter van, they going and riding up to Biloxi. Okay, they roll up to Biloxi. Before they got to Biloxi, what's her name? Carrie and her husband went ahead of them to prepare and lay out all this merch and all these different things all in the house and make it comfortable for the ladies, because she said she don't want no side-eyeing or no drama. They get to this house, y'all, and this house was beautiful. I'm not going to lie to you, that they are renting for the days that they're going to be there, okay? The house was beautiful. That's a front view of the house. This is a back view of the house, okay? They got a pool back there. Now, in my opinion, just in my opinion, they could have did a little bit more grounds work around the house. Now, the house is beautiful, but they could have did better with the grounds work, just in my opinion, okay? So before they get on the Sprinter van, before they get to the house, that was the house I'm showing y'all first. Before they get to the house, they get on the Sprinter van and everybody's, seated and everything. And somebody asks Lateshia, how is it going with Glenn after the whole pool party incident? While Latrice is on the van, which I thought was a little petty, Just a little messy. However, we already knew that conversation was going to come up one way or another. Excuse me, I had to take a sip of water. And so I think it was Selena that asked her, like, what's going on with you and Glendale. And she says, things have been rocky, but we're working through it. I don't understand how many times this man has to cheat on this woman for her to realize that she needs to stop working on it with him. Last season or 2 seasons ago, he cheated on her so much that it was a possibility that he had a baby out here in these streets. And now she's sitting up here still wanting to deal with him. Every season when she deal with Glenn and his whole mess, we see her up here crying a river. We see her up here looking real foolish. So why would you want that? I'm just trying to understand. So Lateshia goes and tells us, she needs to watch who she keep in her corner, okay? Because she's tired of people playing in her face. And as y'all can see, Latrice is up here looking back because Latrice is thinking that all of the Bells are blaming her for the incident that happened at her house. Now, granted, it happened at her house, but that does not mean that she is the cause of the issue. I agree with Latrice in this moment. Glenn is the one that cheated. Glenn is the one that should be held accountable for this mess, okay? But they're not going to blame him because he's the man, and I guess they got to blame somebody and keep it in the show or whatever. I don't know. So anyway, the ladies roll up to the house. Wait a minute, I don't want to show y'all that picture yet. They roll up to the house and they're starting to pick their rooms, okay? When they get in the house, they are all greeted with all of it's really laid out. She got the drinks laid out, she got everything laid out, all of the merch and all of these things and all of that. And so it's really just a good setup that her and her husband did. Her face are on fans, like everything is just going down, okay? So they going upstairs to pick their rooms in this picture, right? And so they're going by age. So she says, we're going to give the rooms because they got four rooms. And so 2 ladies are going to have to share the rooms. Now, Carrie's husband thought it would be a good idea for Latrice and Lateshia to share the rooms. He's saying maybe if they share a room with each other, they can squash the beef. I don't know if that's such a good idea, husband, but I understand where your heart was at with that, but I don't think that's a good idea. So they're going by age. I did not know Selena was the oldest one out the group. Selena is 49, so Selena went and grabbed her room first. Then up next was Marie, and I think Marie is 45, so she went to go grab her room first. Next, and then I think it's Tambra, who is I think Tambra is about 45 as well, and then we have Lateshia and Latrice, who are the youngest, which honestly speaking, I thought Lateshia was older than Tambra. No shade, but I did think Lateshia was older than Tambra, okay? So hold on, I'm sorry. So they get upstairs, they get to their rooms, everybody's getting their room. The last room that was left goes to the baby Bells, and the baby Bells have bunk beds. As y'all can see in the background, they're going to end up having to share a room, and the room has bunk beds, and Lateshia is like, I'm not sharing no room with Latrice. I am not going to be on no bunk bed. This is some bull. I didn't know the youngest Belle meant that you had to end up sharing a room and sleeping on bunk beds. Now I agree. I ain't one for the whole bunk bed. I ain't about to try to do that. But if I have to do it to enjoy the trip, I will. I'm not bougie to that degree. But y'all already know on these reality shows, when their sleeping arrangements, whenever they go away, when their sleeping arrangements ain't good, they start tripping out. So Lateshia says, I'm not sharing no room with her. We see Marie got her laid across her bed, Tambra in there, Lateshia coming in. She says, if I have to sleep with Marie, that's what I would do, because I'm going to be right over here, as y'all can see in the wording. Because she said she's not sharing no room with Latrice, because they beefing and she don't want to share no room, okay? But anyway, they go and they're getting ready to go on their first outing, which is going to be a swamp tour. Now, Lateshia is very excited about this whole weekend, this whole event, because this launches her whole brunch tour for entrepreneurs, women in Mississippi. Okay, and so she's excited that Carrie is going to take the lead on doing a lot of things because her headspace may not be there at times, and so she's excited about that. She's excited about the trip, and they about to get ready to go on their first little outing, which is going to be this swamp tour. Okay. And so when I saw the swamp tour, I was like, oh my God, I would love to go on a swamp tour. As y'all can see, we had one of our little alligator friends right there on their tour. And I know when me and my friends went to Louisiana, that was one of the things that was on the list that we were possibly going to do, but we didn't get around to it. But that does not mean I still do not want to go ahead and try one of these swamp tours, okay? And so they get to this tour. The tour guide was very knowledgeable. They send the alligators, they get on the boat, they're pulling off in the swamp and everything, and they're asking the tour guide all types of questions and things of that nature. He actually tells them while they're on the boat that, there's an alligator right over there, and they're like, where? And they're looking, and he's like, you can see the top of his head and all of that, okay? And so while they're riding, they're having a good time. Selena says she's in the middle of Latrice and Lateshia, and it feels weird because they haven't said anything to each other, and it's kind of awkward. Okay, they ended up finishing out the tour where Selena got to hold a baby alligator, which I thought was pretty dope. Like I said, I would. My husband said he wouldn't come with me, but I would not be against getting on one of these tours and holding one of these baby alligators. Okay. And so after they finished the whole swamp tour, which was really dope, Carrie, their host, says that they are going to go to one of her friends' restaurants in Biloxi, okay? And so they said, we're going to go like this, the way that we are. She said, yes, we don't have time to get glammed up and get all cute and stuff. We're going to thug it out at the restaurant. And so his name is Kenny Williams. He's the owner of this restaurant, and they are going to go have a coastal dinner, okay? And so when they had the coastal dinner, he brings out oysters first, and Maria's like, oysters? Ugh. Is that all we're going to have? And I'm like, girl, stop being bougie as if you was born with a silver spoon in your mouth. Child, you're from Mississippi. You know how to kick it if you need to kick it, okay? So then we get to the drama of the evening. Of course, every time they go out and eat dinner, it has to be some type of drama. And the two people that have the drama, of course, is none other than Lateshia and Latrice. Lateshia is in the gray, Latrice is in the pink, okay? And so the beef is that Lateshia thinks that she was bamboozled at her friend's house. She feels that you are my friend. You picked those questions at your party, and the question that she picked at the party was, has anyone ever been attracted to anyone in the group? From last week, okay, y'all saw that. And one of her friends, her hairstylist, that came to the party and said that Glenn been sliding her DMs and he's been attracted to her and all this stuff. So Lateshia, the one in the gray, she feels like you set me up. You're supposed to be my friend. Why would you ask those type of questions at your party? Latrice is maintaining that she did not ask that question, that it was somebody on her staff. But Latrice, that was your party. You gave your staff those questions, okay, to ask. So please spare me the melodramatic with I didn't know what was happening. No, you knew what was happening. You want to amp up the drama, and producers probably told her to do it and amp up the drama, okay? And so, they're sitting at the table, going back and forth, having this whole conversation about it. And Latrice is saying, I'm not the only one that knew about Glenn sliding in the DMs. She is up here waiting for Tamara to jump up and say, girl, I also heard that he was sliding in her friend's DM as well. But Tamara just sat there soaking it all in, because Tamara was like, baby, if you didn't call my name, I'm not going to get involved in it, okay? And I am Tamara, because if you don't call my name, please, if it's not directed directly towards me, don't put me in it. Don't put me in it, because I'm not going to be involved, okay? And so they did not get to any resolve, and it was a to be continued, okay? And so next week, they're supposed to conclude this whole dinner conversation about the beef between her and Latrice and all that. And really, They said for years that Latrice has shown Lateshia that she has not been a really good friend to her. And they were showing little flashbacks and things like that. And I'm one of them people that feel like if a person show you who they are, believe them. They don't need to tell me too many times who you are. Okay? Because I'm going to be looking at you in a minute like this because you're not going to get my energy and you're not going to get me sucking me into your mess for too long. I want peace. I don't want to deal with all the drama. But it's a reality show. And so these two are going to go back and forth because it's supposed to draw up the ratings and trump up the issues. But see, Letitia, the one over here in the gray, she has a cheating man that has a wandering penis. Okay. And so it's not the girl in the pinks a problem that your man got called out at her party. She said if it happened at her party, it happened. He's the one that's been sliding DMs and cheating. You ought to leave that man alone, and you will see that you will have much more peace in your friend circle, and you won't have to worry about nobody up here doing some type of reckless stuff at their house at parties. Okay. But anyway, y'all, that's what happened on that episode. When I tell y'all the episode was a 5, it was a 5 for me, baby. Nothing really extreme happened. I'm trying to think if there's anything else that I left out, but I doubt it. We're gonna see what happens on next week. I will be here reviewing it on Saturday for you all. I also reviewed the Braxtons. Okay. I reviewed the Braxtons on Sunday at 6 p.m. So if you loving the Braxtons and you love my review, go ahead and smash the thumbs up button. Go ahead and subscribe. Make sure your notification bell is on. And I'm going to see y'all on Sunday for the Braxtons. And baby, the Braxtons this week, we got the dramatic table fight between Tamar and everybody who wanted to get it, okay? And I felt two ways about it, okay? I felt like I was kind of on Tamar's side a little bit, but then I kind of wasn't on Tamar's side. It was a lot that was going on, and we're going to get into it on tomorrow, so make sure y'all subscribe. I'll be here at 6 p.m. for y'all. I love y'all so much. May y'all have a happy, blessed, and prosperous Saturday evening. I love y'all. Bye.